Hi, I'm Audrey Meyer, and this is the Find Your Superpower podcast, the show where we hear the story of incredible people changing their body and mind to reach their goal and achieve a peak state. From entrepreneur to community leaders and so on, we learn what it really takes to find your superpower. Welcome, Rock Thomas. Hi, Rock. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited about having you and about learning from you and from everything you created in life, right? So before we dive deep into the questions, Rock, I'd like to know, or I'd like you to share with the audience, who is Rock Thomas? And please also share about your amazing video, which had more than 100 million views, and I just watched it again. And wow, yeah, absolutely. So please tell us about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, from farm boy to financially free is really the story that I talk about. And I tell it because I believe that a lot of people have trouble answering this question. Can I do it? Fill in the blank, whatever that is. Can I be an Olympic athlete? Can I run a business? Can I be a good husband, wife, father of a dog? Whatever it is. Most of the time we feel like we get stuck in the how. And in life, if you do what is difficult, life becomes easier. Sadly, most people are seeking comfort and hoping things are going to get easier. We are in some difficult times right now. And I have to say that I've been wired to thrive in these times. And the reason is not because I'm so great, it's just my programming. Growing up on a farm, you learn that the animals need to be fed, whether you're tired, it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, your birthday, they don't care. They need to be fed. Whether it's raining, snow, broken pipes, the farmer forgot to bring the hay, they don't care. So you become, or I became, incredibly resourceful. Most people aren't given the chance to become resourceful. However, that being said, when situations become dire, most people find a part of themselves that didn't know existed. I created a mastermind group 8 years ago to help simulate somewhat difficult situations. 4% outside their comfort zone on a regular basis gives the optimate path of growth and evolution, as Stephen Kotler talks about in his book, The Rise of Superman. So as we continue to forge forward, you break muscle down so it builds back stronger. You have a fight in a relationship, you come back with more understanding and compassion. So I've just been a phenomenally, passionately curious student of life. I pay attention, and if I can't win, I become a passionately curious student. And with those ingredients, you never lose. So every day to me is a win, and that's why people say to me, "But you're so upbeat, you're so excited, you're so passionate. How could you be that all the time?" Because I choose to look at the world as an opportunity to win or learn, and therefore I'm always in action. It doesn't matter. I picked 8,000 oranges, my trees and all my neighbors' trees during this pandemic because I couldn't move around. I will find a way to champion any situation, no matter what. And you can too.
Love it. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit, Rock, about the video I was talking about?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people have unresolved issues with their parents, as I did. And my quest was get my father to be proud of me. I tried all kinds of different things, from working hard to doing well at sports to doing well at school. But he was too busy being a workaholic and not paying attention. And eventually, when I was in my late 20s and he got cancer, I flew from Canada to Australia, where he had moved to. And I spent a lot of time taking care of him and moving him from a bigger house to a smaller one. And then I discovered that he had some debt with the Canadian government that he had kind of run away from. And he didn't want to leave his wife with that. So he asked me to take responsibility for it. So I said yes, because I wanted him to be proud of me. And the last moment I had just before leaving to get on a plane, I asked him what he was proud of. I'm in my late 20s. I'd already built up multiple businesses. I was almost a millionaire. I had learned 3 languages. I was resourceful, married. I thought I had achieved a lot. I thought I'd done a lot of things well that he would be proud of. And he looked me in the eye and he says he couldn't think of anything that he was proud of. Not one thing. And I was so shocked in disbelief that I wish he would have just lied, you know? And, but there's something in the human spirit. And you look at the greats, the Michael Jordans and the Tiger Woods of the world, and you talked about it before. There are two types of people that will be stopped and people that won't be stopped. And I'll tell you right now, I will fucking not be stopped. And I will fucking use everything as fuel. And when you decide that, just like Michael Jordan, if you're watching those specials, everything becomes an asset in your life. There are no liabilities. And when you decide that, you own your own power. And that's the greatest gift you can give yourself.
Yeah. So the video we're actually talking about is how to change the way you see yourself, right? So you guys can Google it, how to change the way you see yourself, Rock Thomas. Watch it. It's pretty intense. I loved it. It's amazing. And you're talking a lot about identity, Rock, right? So I want to go a little bit deeper into that. And I have a couple of questions regarding identity. Why is identity so important? And also I'd like you, Rock, to clarify or to explain what is identity and how it's developed, right? So if you want to go a little deeper into that.
Yeah, so one of my favorite topics, I wrote a book called The Power of Your Identity in 2006. And the reason I wrote it is because I was given a label, which is a part of your identity, of pizza face, which my brother gave me because he wanted to feel better about himself, which is what happens is we often judge people and give them a label. Hey, you're chubby, you're fat. That's what bullying is all about, is instead of people collectively getting together and becoming the best version of themselves, they put other people down so they feel better. And because we all want to belong and connect and be loved, we pay attention to these suggestions. And it's really what they are. It's a suggestion. You know, you're stupid, you're not good with math, you're ugly, whatever. And I took on that belief for a good probably 15 years. And then I met a programmer who taught me that it was merely a suggestion. And when I discovered that, that may have been one of the most impactful days of my life, is that every part of the things that you say, I am smart, I am stupid, I am lazy, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not a morning person. All those pieces that you use to describe yourself, which we all need because we can't operate with unless we have a sense of who we are. We'd be schizophrenic otherwise. So we try to understand who we are and how we're supposed to behave and show up. And so when I understood that you can change that through auto-suggestion, as Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, you can, if you play tennis and you're really bad at your backhand and you keep on saying, I'm so bad at my backhand, I'm just terrible at my backhand, I just suck at my backhand, don't hit, oh, I hope he doesn't hit my backhand. Or you can go, every day and every way I get better at my backhand. The more I practice it, the more at ease I am. You can program yourself into a higher, better version of yourself if you're willing to do the work. Our minds are like software. So when I understood that, I went from pizza face to ruggedly handsome, and I just repeated it over and over again with the picture of Clint Eastwood in my mind. And before too long, this little pimple-faced, skinny, ugly, self-identity kid started to become this confident, handsome, if I say so myself, humble man. And really what it was is that we're all beautiful souls in our own way. We're all made to be something special, but we rarely recognize it for itself. So that was a day of freedom for me. And I took that and I just extrapolated it into my life. And I went from working hard to working smart, from being dyslexic and bad speller to becoming a best-selling author, from not being able to lead and teach and operate to running multiple businesses, to thinking that I'd have to work hard for the rest of my life, to now having passive streams of income and not having to work hard. So you can take it on anything. You know, I have a new puppy, and so I tell myself, I am the greatest father to this puppy. I'm amazing with him. He has a great connection with me. So it comes down to that you're talking to yourself all the time. Do you want to talk to yourself with intention and empowerment, or just randomly with other people's programming? And if that's your choice, I think you're being a little bit naive.
Yeah, I love what you just said, because self-talk is so strong, especially nowadays, right? You hear so many young girls, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly to date that boy, or I'm not smart enough to go to university, or I'm not, or I can't. This is all things you create in your mind and then you become, right? So I love this I am. And I want to go a little deeper into that because I know you have an I am movement podcast, right? So can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So after the Goalcast video came out that you talked about, I was expecting a couple of million views, and then it went viral and it went up to 100 million views and counting. And I had so many people send me messages that I started to realize a lot of people, Audrey, just don't understand what I didn't understand. They don't understand that some person in your life made a suggestion that you're stupid or fat or ugly or silly, or you listen to media or advertising and you're supposed to wear makeup and you're supposed to have breasts this size and a waist that size, and you become so self-conscious that you lose your confidence. And that pisses me off. Yeah. So I decided to start a podcast, which is really the I Am movement, which says that if you consciously choose, like if you pay attention with intention and you say, you know what, I can write my own story. I can direct it. I can choose to be a piano player, an author, really good with technology, somebody who's gentle, kind, and loving. When I grew up, I had so much adversity that my warrior muscle is that of a gladiator. Like, I really believe that. Bring it on. This pandemic, it's like child's play to me. It's like I'm so prepared for this, I'm over prepared for it. But I've had to work on my compassion and my empathy because I didn't have any growing up. But maybe some listeners here are incredibly empathetic and compassionate, but they can't ask for business. They start a business and they're afraid to ask for the order or to prospect or to speak confidently about their business. I'm a great business builder. Right? Like, I'll get on the phone and talk to people about what I believe in just like this. I could do it all day long. I love it. Reject me because I don't take it personally. Tell me you don't like my product. I'll celebrate, right? I have so many ways to drive success and to help other people because I understand that the words that follow I am are a choice. So I continually program myself to be a better version of myself. And everybody listening to this can too if they have the right coaching and strategies around it.
Yeah, love that. And I know you had many people redefining themselves, right? So 2 questions. 1, can you just share a little bit about some example? And also, can you maybe give the audience like 2 tips, which you would tell your customers so they have a little
sure.
approach, right?
So I was working with a guy who he was a grandpa, and he was skating in Canada with his grandson, and they went twice around the rink, and he had to sit down because he was out of breath. And he goes, "Isn't it fun skating with grandpa?" And of course, kids say the most beautiful things as an 8-year-old boy. And he goes, "Well, grandpa, we went around twice. It's kind of boring. You're fat and overweight." And he went, "Wow." But that was the leverage he needed. And he called me up, and I worked with him. And his goal was to get in shape so that his grandson would never say that again. You see, you've got to find leverage if you're going to transform. Something that will drive you to shift your behavior. So we changed his identity because he was 65 years old, 265 pounds, about 5'9", overweight, big belly, 7 Diet Cokes a day, and he had an identity of overweight and dieting his entire adult life. That's what he told himself. That's who I am. I can't handle it. I just never get ahead. I shifted his identity to an athlete. And then I just asked him questions. How does an athlete think, behave? What do they believe? What do they eat? What do they do? And in 9 months, he got down to 199 pounds. And now he spends an hour and a half on the ice with his grandson. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. Right? I have a CPA who spent $160,000 on education to become educated and sit at a desk and do crunch numbers, who now runs 29 Airbnbs, retired his mom, his wife, and himself to become an entrepreneur. So no matter who you are or who you think you are, with the right processes, we can transform you into whatever you want to become if you have the right energy.
Yeah, I love that. And that's funny because you remember when we were a child, question would be, who you want to become? I want to be an astronaut, right? I want to be a fireman. And you know, when did we lose that, right? If I want to be an astronaut, go follow your dream. I just love kids because they have an imagination. And just like at one point, we lost it. I wish it would be back, you know, but this is so true. And it can actually, right? You can rewire your brain this way. You are becoming an astronaut or becoming whatever you want, right? So, Rob, I know you're also a founder of the M1, and it's a community of high achievers. So I know we still have like a little time, and I'd like you to go a little deeper into that.
Well, you set that up perfectly, because think about this. Think of people that run marathons, or if you ran a marathon, you didn't do it alone, probably. You ran a marathon with a group of other people, and you had a pack that you ran with. People went ahead, some people were behind, but you set your pace with the people that were your pace. But you also had volunteers on the side that gave you half a banana, a glass of water, and they gave you something, and they supported you in the process. What else did you have? People along the sidelines yelling, you could do this, come on, you got it, only 5 miles left, come on, you're awesome. And that sense of human connection creates energy. And then, of course, you're running beside somebody and you're like, when I ran my marathon, which I didn't prepare for, I'm running beside, toward the end, an 81-year-old guy, and I'm like, Jesus, if this guy can do it, I need to step it up. So I was challenged by the humans around me. So I created a mastermind group that creates that ecosystem, one of support, encouragement, and challenge. To your point with the children, when do we lose it? We lose it when your brother comes up to you and says, pizza face. We lose it when somebody bullies you at school and says, hey, idiot, you could never be an astronaut. You don't even know how to do math, retard. So when people around us are not supporting, encouraging, and challenging us to be our best, we lose the hope and belief and faith in ourselves. What M1 is designed to do is to restore that. Nobody in our mastermind ecosystem will be tolerated when they tear other people down. Not going to happen. You're out of the group. Yeah. But neither will complacency be tolerated. So you get support, you get encouragement based on your goals, and then we challenge you when you get complacent. And that perfect chemistry of those pieces has allowed me to help create 55 whole life millionaires in 4 years, help people lose 100 pounds, quit smoking, get in better relationships, live more fulfilled lives, have better morning and evening rituals, and be the type of person that not only achieves more, but feels better in their skin. Yeah. And that's what I'm committed to.
Yeah. And there's something you said in one of your videos, that we are the sum, and I want you to finish, the sum of...
Yeah, the 5 people we spend time with, and it's from Jim Rohn. It's not me. I just regurgitate most stuff, but people need help finding the language of personal development. So if you don't consciously choose people around you, you'll end up with the default of what's in the world. Now, think about it. 97% of people are not in good shape. Most people struggle with their finances. Most people are negative. So if you just leave your environment to random choice, you're going to be listening to your broke uncle and to your sick neighbor and to the guy who belly aches at the office. That's not a strategy for an epic life. So I say to people, you got to intentionally seek out people that are purposeful in how they design their life, because what's available by media and culture is a bag of Doritos and a Diet Coke, and that's not how I live my life.
Yeah. And this is so important right now, especially with COVID, right? The time we're doing this interview, we're right into COVID. And it's so important to hang out with the right people with the right mindset and getting all this bullshit of media and negativity out, staying just with positive people, right? So thanks so much for sharing that. Thank you guys for joining. I will see you in the next podcast on audreymeyercoaching.com.